purpose. We have to show them a path. We have to show them there's a vision for a path forward. We have to be active participants in it because there's spiritual warfare being waged. It's very, very real. If we don't do our part, then we're missing the mark. And you look at the story of Jen McMail that I interviewed earlier. Look at his story of being an orphan and turning that upside down and now helping orphans. And you have to look at studios like Angel Studios, a sponsor of this event that we have a brand new partnership with. What are they doing? They're creating stories that amplify light in a dark world. And I think that's just so incredibly important. And I want to remind people that we do have this excellent partnership where you can become a member of the Angel Guild and you can help amplify that light. And all you've got to do is go to angel.com/Rav to become a member of that guild. You'll get to see Testament that we mentioned, Young Washington, Sketch, A Week Away, all these great shows and documentaries, including RFK Legacy, that will amplify light. Because, folks, it's a dark world. We're the product of a fallen world, a dark world, and it's up to you and me and this entire audience to amplify that light. Thanks for being with me. Thanks for letting me guest host for you, Grant, and good night. Stay tuned for Studio 6B.
This Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern, history sets sail.
I'm going to have all folks from the Navy, national security experts. You do not want to miss this.
President Donald J. Trump arrives in Norfolk, Virginia, aboard a mighty U.S. aircraft carrier.
Fight, 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 win, win, win.
As America celebrates 250 years of Navy power, brace yourself for missile launches, roaring jets, thunderous firepower, and the full force of America's sea strength on display. Hosted by Steve Bannon, with live reporting from Jack Posobiec and Steve Gruber. Real America's Voice brings you this front row seat to freedom in motion. It's not just coverage, it's a celebration of America's might. RAV presents America 250, Sea Power and Freedom. Coverage begins this Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern. See you there.
All right, 8 o'clock, live from Studio 6B, Tuesday, October 2nd. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in, everybody. Sea Power and Freedom, man, that looks great this weekend with Steve Bannon. We'll see that again in the second hour. But man, that was a great promo. I love that.
Yeah, I didn't recognize Steve when they showed his picture.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Captain Bannon. And there's another Captain Bannon, as Maureen Bannon, I believe, was Captain Bannon as well. So,
wow.
Live from Studio 6B on a Thursday. No, Damon, it's not Tuesday. It's Thursday, October 2nd, 8 o'clock on the East Coast. Slick Rick sitting right there. He's going to do some sports. Slickster, how are you?
I'm doing good, Big D.
How was your day?
Good day today. Watching baseball. Man, Game 3 Thursday, I'm calling it. It's unbelievable here.
Big Yankees game tonight. We'll get to that in sports, obviously. Big decider. We'll see who one goes home and one goes on. So
that's it.
And that's the same thing happening right now with this Cubs and San Diego. Yeah, it's about to wrap that up, too. Delgado's here. He's going to do some news. Mr. Delgado, how are you?
I am well, Damon.
Thursday night shirt night, I see.
Thursday night shirt night. You are correct. I almost forgot what day it was, too.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And you got your hairs cut.
Yes.
I noticed that, too.
I got 10, 12 of them cut and others trimmed in various other locations.
Yeah.
I did most of the others.
Thanks for that,
okay,
transparency.
Thanks for TMI. Thank you.
Appreciate the transparency.
I had time. I had time today. I had time to kill.
Okay, yeah, turn this mic off, friend. Vinnie Mac's here. Vinnie Mac's, good idea, Aaron. Vinnie Mac's got some news as well. Vinnie Mac, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. As you know, I just flew in.
Your arms must be tired.
Thank you. My arms are exhausted. But on the trip back down, so the trip down to Florida, there were 16 people who needed assistance getting on the plane.
Yes, you told us that the other night. Yeah.
And coming back, I was 12, 17. Yes, coming back there were 12, and I finally walked up to someone and I said, "Dude, fake a limp, okay? Finally do that for me. You need to show that you need assistance. Like if I'm in a wheelchair, I need assistance. I get it.
Yeah.
But the rest of the people walking on and they're having their iced tea and they're not doing. I'm like, fake a limp, or I'm going to get really angry now. Like I'm getting tired of this stuff.
This is Southwest where you don't really have seats, right?
This is Southwest. When you get on, it's absolute Armageddon to get asleep.
Yes, that's true.
It's total chaos.
Absolute Armageddon. But I landed just a couple hours ago, and here I am, man.
There you are.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Lots to get to, news, sports, all kinds of stuff on a busy Thursday night it's going to be. But right now, let's get to tonight's first word. Well, and tonight, I saw David Brody's text earlier in the day, and that got me thinking about this, that we're tearing the veil tonight off a so-called ally that, quite frankly, has been stabbing America and its allies in the back for decades. Tonight, we're zeroing in on Qatar, a tiny Gulf state with a monstrous agenda, funding terror, playing both sides, and sinking its claws into the heart of this nation. This isn't just a wake-up call. It's a five-alarm fire, and we better act fast before Qatar's insidious influence burns down everything we hold dear. Let's cut through the fog tonight. Qatar, this supposed ally and partner of the United States, is pouring billions of dollars, as you can see, into our universities, our K through 12 schools, and even sensitive research programs tied to our national security, all while cozying up to our enemies. A report from the NCRI reveals that foreign donors dumped nearly $29 billion into American universities between 2021 and 2024, matching the total from the previous 40 years. And who's the ringleader? Qatar, alongside China, flooding our schools with cash. Cornell raked in $2.1 billion from Qatar to build a medical school in Doha. Northwestern's journalism school and Georgetown's foreign policy school, hundreds of millions each. Harvard, a staggering $3.2 billion in foreign funds. This isn't generosity, folks. It's a calculated takeover. Why should you care? Well, because Qatar's not just building classrooms, they're building control. In Doha's education city, they're running outposts of our top universities, calling the shots, pushing a radical, anti-Western, anti-Semitic ideology that's poisoning our kids' minds. The Institute for the Study of Global Anti-Semitism and Policies Network of Hate reports it like this. Quote, Qatari's money comes with strings, curbs on academic freedom, stifles political expression, and propagandizes and demonetizes and demonizes Israel while whitewashing the Muslim Brotherhood and their terrorist buddies like Hamas. Yes, Hamas. The same group that butchered 1,200 Israelis on October 7, 2023, while Qatar played mediator in ceasefire talks, all while hosting Hamas leaders in five-star hotels in Doha. That's the wolves guarding the sheep. And it's not just colleges. Qatar's infiltrating our K through 12 schools, kindergarten through high school, through program like Brown University's Choices, used by 8,000 schools and reaching over 1 million students nationwide. Qatar sneaking its propaganda into classrooms. What started as balanced Middle East curriculum has turned into a love letter to Muslim countries in a smear campaign against Israel. Dr. Charles Asher Small, who ran Yale's Anti-Semitism Research Center until it was mysteriously shut down, likely under pressure from Muslim groups, and Brigadier General Sima Vakin-Gil, a former Israeli official, have tracked Qatar's money trail. Their findings? Qatar's pushing an anti-democratic, anti-American, and anti-Semitic worldview, indoctrinating our kids right under our noses. The Department of Education caught Texas A&M hiding over $100 million in Qatari funding, money funneled into the Texas A&M Engineering Experiment Station, working on cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and nuclear proliferation. These are national security cornerstones. Qatar's buying access to the most sensitive research, and we're letting them. Now let's talk about Qatar's shadowy support for terror and anti-U.S. politics, which seems to fly right over Steve Witkoff's head. While Qatar's bankrolling Hamas, internal files call them the group's main artery of funding. Like the October 7th attacks, they're also playing footsies with the Muslim Brotherhood, the Taliban, and Iran, one of America's most consistent adversaries. They pledged $20 million to UNRWA, the UN agency tied to Hamas, and their Doha-based International Union of Muslim Scholars cheered Iran's missile strikes on Israel, with one member posting on X, "Let there be more strikes," quote unquote. Meanwhile, Qatar's deepening ties with China, like a $10 billion investment fund and stakes in Chinese financial firms, make their ally status quite a sick joke, quite frankly. And what's the message to Israel, our true ally? Don't you dare declare sovereignty over Judea and Samaria. Israel hasn't asked for a single U.S. soldier on the ground, yet the Biden administration, and even some in Trump circles right now, seem to be putting shackles on Israel's actions, especially when it comes to annexing historic Jewish territories. Why the double standard? Qatar's got their tentacles wrapped around our politics, and nobody's calling it out. Their state-run Al Jazeera spews Islamic propaganda across the Arab world, shaping political opinion against us and our allies, while they smile and shake hands when they're in D.C. So what's Qatar's endgame here? Well, as always, it's about power. They're spending billions to reshape our values, our kids, and our future to align with their radical ideology, destroy Israel, undermine the West, and secure global dominance. They're a Trojan horse, and they're already inside the gates. We need to demand transparency on foreign funding in our schools, shut down the propaganda pipelines, and hold our universities and politicians accountable for cozying up to a regime that backs terrorists. The time for complacency is over. If we don't act now, Qatar's influence is going to continue to choke the soul of the nation. And that's tonight's first word. All right, live from Studio 6B.
That was excellent, man. You're really spot on with that. Wow.
What'd you think of it?
First off, I thought you did a great job presenting it. I thought the information was humbling in many ways, because we see all the deals that Trump was cutting with Qatar. We see all the activity, and yet we see Hamas continuing to turn us down, and they're in Qatar, and the double standard there is pretty strong. And the amount of money coming into our schools, there has to be some management to that. And I think the only way to do that is for the government to say, we can't take money from these types of governments that support terrorism, that support all this stuff. Like, they need to step up and recognize this. So otherwise, universities will just keep taking checks. I mean, why not keep taking checks if someone's willing to give it to you? But we're not taking checks from Russia. We're not taking checks from all these other rogue places. China seems to be right there. We should be careful with that. But you pointed out some really great facts here that we should all be aware of, and the administration should take note.
I don't think anybody knows how much money really is flowing into the colleges and universities, and what kind of a stranglehold they have on it. China, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, there's many. But I saw David Brody's post this morning, Delgado, and that's what got me going on this. He said, "Sorry if I don't understand the 10-dimensional geopolitical chess that's being played here, but shedding American blood in defense of Qatar is a hard no. This ain't America first, not by a long shot. Establishing a working relationship with Qatar is one thing. I get that to a degree, but this is a whole other level. This makes the gifted Qatari plane look like small potatoes. MAGA should be infuriated by this move." And he's referring to the presidential action that President Trump took, I guess it was last week, assuring the security of the state of Qatar, this executive order. It seemed to catch everybody kind of blindsided.
Yeah. Excuse me. And I believe he also, which was odd that it didn't get more of a play, that he kind of threw down the gauntlet to Israel as well, saying, you know what, Qatar and Saudi Arabia are our fans. Don't attack them again. If I'm wrong, let me know. But I read that and I was like, that doesn't seem to be catching much of people's attention anywhere. And I think the most surprising part is the billions of dollars that are flowing into all these universities. I think $8 billion is the number the Arabic countries gave to elite and Ivy universities just in the last few years. You're talking about Cornell, Harvard, MIT raking in billions of dollars, from these countries. And what we all know what's going to happen. What are they going to do? They're going to say, "Oh, thanks for the check. We'll make sure we get you the chicken cordon bleu when you visit." Yep. No, they're going to do exactly what they want because they want more of that money. It's as simple as that. And what's crazy is that the federal government keeps giving them more money. So they're getting money from everybody.
All right, live from Studio 6B, just getting started. More on this. We'll get into news, sports, all kinds of good stuff to get into tonight. On a Thursday, Real America's Voice. We're back right after this.
You sent me a text.
Okay.
You sent it.
Yeah.
Okay. Got a text. Okay.
They indoctrinate our
email
youth
for
in these universities, and now you've got money coming in from these types of sources. I mean, where does it stop?
Aaron, I just reset it. Anything yet? Yeah. What's going on in the chat? I pronounced it wrong. Qatar. Yes, I get it. You can say both ways.
Yeah,
someone told me that, but I wasn't going to correct you. I don't know.
I heard it both ways a million times.
I say both ways. I mean, I changed it up in the middle of that.
Yeah, I've heard it both ways. I don't know if there's a...
I usually go Qatar. I don't usually say Qatar. I don't even know why I started.
Is there a right way or a wrong way?
Because the people are the Qataris. Right.
Okay, so Qatar's is better?
That's what I've heard.
Okay.
Correction made.
Thank you all.
I mean,
Let's do it again.
When you say Qatar, I think Mariano Rivera.
Take two.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great segment, Damon. I'm so glad you're starting to do that because it really sets the tone. It's excellent.
Dawn Stevens on Facebook says, I've heard it both ways, too. Thank you.
Yeah. I've heard it both ways. I've heard leaders say it both ways.
And you can take it both ways.
And you can...
J&J Mama says should be gutter. There you go. Ba-ba-bum. It's pronounced Qatar. K-U-H-T-A-R. Thank you.
Qataris. The Qataris.
Julie, how you doing today? Cheryl Merrill's out there watching. Kevin Murphy. Everybody's giving you great reviews here, Dame, on all of that. Despite the pronunciation issue, which shouldn't even be an issue. Scott Edwards says, good job. Good evening to Big D.
Hello, everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
Chat live in the chat.
Split the difference and call it get her done. Get her done.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing. They're getting her done.
Yeah. Denise Furlong, I don't bring Winston to Florida. He would never fit on the plane. He's bigger than a person. So... Gotta have someone watch him.
Chat live in the chat. Rumblers. Howdy, Rumblers.
Damon, you all have gifts at the warehouse tomorrow, someone said.
Oh, no.
Went by so fast, I didn't see who it was. Live from Studio 6B, 17 past the hour, Real America's Voice on a Thursday night. Glad you're in. Slick's going to do some sports coming up. Vinnie Mac's got some news. Delgado's got news. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Before we get to sports, I mentioned this yesterday quickly, and I just want to play cut 7, Aaron. I said Hakeem Jeffries had a rough day yesterday.
Every day.
And I mentioned this clip, but we didn't have a chance to get to it, so let's just get to it now. Here he is He probably thought going on with fake Tapper that he'd have, he could just go up there and spew his nonsense and Jake would just go, But it actually didn't happen when it got to illegals in healthcare, and he was kind of caught off guard. Here's cut 7.
But they talk about the provisions, and it's right here, subtitle E,
pulled it
and this
out.
has to do with the repeal of healthcare subtitle changes, and specifically what it is. How they characterize it is you want to give health insurance to undocumented immigrants. I understand that's not really an accurate depiction, but what it does do is...
It's a lie.
It's a lie. But what you support does bring back funding for emergency Medicaid to hospitals, some of which does pay for undocumented immigrants and people who don't have health insurance. And also there is this provision, and it's not about undocumented immigrants, it's about people with asylum seekers and people with temporary protected status, et cetera, but about their ability to get Medicaid. So they're non-citizens, they're not undocumented, they're not illegal. Why even include that in a bill knowing that they're going to seize right upon that and use that to message?
And that actually went on, and he tried to explain it, and Jake came back at him and said, no, that's not really what it says. And they went back and forth to the point where Hakeem just started staring at him and didn't say anything. So not a good day for Mr. Jeffries or Chucky Schumer. We played you the Crazy Town yesterday.
Oh, my goodness.
Chuck just got to the point where he was faking that the earpiece wasn't working on these interviews.
It was like Chevy Chase.
He just didn't want to talk to anybody.
Working.
Yeah.
Hear you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Aaron, I'm not sure what's up with the clock, but it's not right. So, LFS6B is the promo code to use. Let's do some sports. Slickster, what's going on?
Well, I think we have to do an odds makers, right, Aaron? We got an odds makers tonight.
We got a game,
49ers
yeah.
and Rams and SoFi Stadium.
All right, what's the line?
Check, please.
Well, the line tonight right now is 7.5 points. Rams are favored at home.
Okay.
I saw it at 8.5, but I think the bet MGM right now is coming in on ESPN at it's at 8.5 or 7.5. Let's go with 7.5 because I'm taking the Rams. I'm laying the points.
That's a good one, Slick.
Make my own rules here.
All right, Slick's making his own rules here. He's his own bookmaker. 7.5 is the line, Aaron. I guess we'll roll
Brock
with that.
Purdy
Who are
tonight.
you going to go with?
I'm going with the 49ers here. I think the Rams
Aaron's
played
gonna
too
take the
close.
points.
So
Okay.
I think the odds makers are writing off the 49ers a little too quickly.
Okay.
All right,
So
okay.
Slick's laying the points. Aaron's taking the points.
And what are you
7.5
doing,
is the
David?
number. Aaron wants 8, though, Slick. Will you
I'd
give
like
her
8.5, please.
8.5.
No, let's not get greedy.
That's the line right now.
I have 7.5 on mine, so.
All right, fine, I'll take it.
We'll meet at 8. All right,
We'll
No,
give
we'll
you
do 7.5.
7.5. We'll give her 8.5.
There you go. That's fair.
There we go.
enough.
That's fair.
This way we both could.
Okay,
How is
so
that
maybe
fair?
you can both maybe win.
I'm
Yeah,
just
if
glad
it lands on
everybody's happy.
8.
That'd be good.
Well, if it lands
Okay.
on.
Big odds makers tomorrow night at the warehouse, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yep, big one.
Yeah, big one
Friday
tomorrow night. Yeah.
Come on.
Pick all the games. Come on.
Let's
All right,
go.
what's going on in sports, Slick? Come on,
Well,
let's go. What are we
going
doing
on
here?
in sports? We got Wild Card Thursday, Big D. Game 3 Thursday. Unbelievable. Yankees just underway in the Bronx. Let's see. We're at the bottom of the first. No score yet. 2 rookies on the mound. So we'll see what happens. Do or die, like you said. Win or go home. That's it. So Yankees and Boston Red Sox, one of the most fiercest rivalries in baseball history going on tonight. So we'll see what happens there. The winner, I believe, gets to go face the Toronto Blue Jays. So that ought to be a great series, followed up by that. The Tigers, well, they beat the Guardians on the road to take Game 3. They won 6-3 earlier today. And the Tigers now will go and face the Seattle Mariners. They'll be going way up in the northwest there. And also we had one other game, and that would be the Cubs and Padres. Cubbies pulling that one out in Wrigley, 3-1, taking that, and they're marching on as well. And we'll see the Cubs will face the Brewers. The Brewers with the best record in Major League Baseball this year. So that's going to be a very tough series for the Cubbies. But hey, they're moving on. So we'll keep you up to date on the Yankees. All the other games are in the books. Dodgers and Phillies will be playing as well. Game 1 on Saturday. Cincinnati Reds, my Reds. Well, they lost last night, 8-4. They got swept as well. The Reds have not won a playoff series in 29 years, and they have not won a playoff game since 2012. So I wasn't expecting much. Anyway.
You don't sound bitter or anything.
No, I'm not bitter at all. For the record, I'm going to root for the Yankees right now. I think it's good for New York, and I want to see them win. And my buddies here like the Yankees as well. So I won't be smirking and rooting against them.
I'm with you on that.
I'm rooting for the Yankees. I want to see them do well. I know you're afraid I'm going to pick. I'm not picking them. I'm just rooting for them.
That's the same. You're a Dallas fan.
Don't abuse me
Islander
here.
fan.
Well, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna stay on the Yankees because we got we got Mark Teixeira, right? But it's a great story with him. World Series champ Mark Teixeira takes swing at Dems as government shuts down. Ryan Gatos of Fox News, former New York Yankees star Mark Teixeira took a swing at Democrats before the U.S. Senate failed to pass a bill that would have avoided a government shutdown. Teixeira, who's running for Congress in Texas, I believe it's the 21st district, responded on social media to a warning from House Speaker Representative Mike Johnson, who said on Fox News Channel on Monday that Senator Chuck Schumer from New York and the Democratic Party were planning to shut down the government to appease their far-left base, quote unquote. The World Series champ suggested he had had enough. This is exactly why I'm running, Teixeira wrote on X on Tuesday. Democrats are destroying our country, and President Trump needs reinforcements who will fight back to take our country. Teixeira expanded on his thoughts yesterday. Make no mistake, liberal Democrats in D.C. own this shutdown, he wrote on X. Republicans have worked tirelessly in good faith to keep the government open and enact conservative policies that earned a massive mandate in President Trump's historic victory last November. The Democrats' lust for aiding illegal immigrants and spending billions of dollars at the expense of hardworking taxpayers has never been more evident. This is exactly why I chose to run for Congress as a political leader. So he's doing a little campaigning, but he's coming out strong, and I like what he's saying. And I'll have a story also on Paul Feinbaum from ESPN. I'm going to run that in the next segment, Big D. I think that's going to be a really good story as well. He's making a move possibly for a Senate.
We have time to do it. We have time to do Feinbaum right now.
I don't have it queued up right now, so I'll get to that in the next segment.
Okay. All right, Slick, is that all for sports?
That's it for sports. That's a wrap.
All right. LFS6B is the promo code to use if you want to shop at My Pillow. All right, we'll jump over to news, Delgado. I only just slotted for one news thing here, but Stephen Miller was out today, I guess, and he was he was quite fired up.
Yes, he was. As a matter of fact, he was out and about. Of course, we're talking about the appearance of Stephen Miller along with other members of the administration in Memphis, Tennessee, talking about the crime situation going on in Memphis, Tennessee, and this vow that, this speech is kind of fiery. I was a little taken aback by it when I saw it, but something to definitely keep in mind. Here's Stephen Miller talking to the police of Memphis, Tennessee, about what to expect and what he expects from them as well, and what they plan to do here in when the federal government comes in. Go to this, Stephen Miller. Check this out.
Cut 3.
To the Memphis Police Department, to the officers that I see sitting in front of me, we are about to provide you with a level of support you cannot even imagine. This isn't just a task force. This is a all of government unlimited support operation. ATF, DEA, FBI, ICE, Department of War, every resource we have. And they're not going to be sitting behind a desk at a keyboard. We are sending in real cops with guns and badges to go out with you on the street every single night making arrests. These are people who have taken down drug cartels, kingpins, the worst criminal offenders in the United States, standing with you shoulder to shoulder to shoulder. All we ask from you is to show up at roll call every single night with your brothers and sisters in the federal government and to go out and get the criminals off the street. And if you do that, I pledge to you, we will liberate this city from the criminal element that has plagued it for generations. This is not just a strategy shift. This is an attitude shift. We are not going to live in an environment anywhere where there is a street that belongs to a criminal, where there is a neighborhood that belongs to a gang, where there is any physical space anywhere that belongs to anyone other than the law-abiding citizens and families of Memphis. The idea that there is a square inch of block in this city where a citizen doesn't feel safe is unacceptable. This is Memphis. This is the United States of America, and all that bullshit is done. It's over. It's finished.
Whoa.
Quiet.
All right.
That guy.
Hard
Stephen Miller. We'll talk about that clip when we get back.
Mic drop.
Live from Studio 6B on a Thursday. More news coming up when we get back right after this.
Stephen Miller with a few Red Bulls going on over there.
I'm totally.
I'm totally.
You got to use sentence.
No,
Got it.
Yeah, well, I was totally thrown up by the clock, to be honest with you.
Totally threw me off.
Me too. I don't know what's going on with the clock.
I had a filler story ready in case you came to.
And I didn't have it. I didn't have it.
If you bring gum, make sure you bring enough for all of us, too.
Okay.
Delgado, that was a great clip. Oh, man, Stephen Miller's so good.
Yeah, I've got more on it from Newsweek here that I didn't get a chance to read because I wasn't sure of the time, and I wanted to make sure we got the clip in.
Well, got to have your stopwatch and your clock.
What do we know what happened with the clock, Aaron? No idea. Okay.
Is it back to normal now?
Try to figure out how much time do I have left.
I was a little lost myself, but...
And then, you know what? You did text us.
Well,
I was checking in my email.
My computer clock is exact to the clock on the thing, so I have the seconds up in front of me, so I know roughly where we are.
And you texted, and I looked at it right before I got in, so I didn't get a chance to really look at everything. So sorry about that. But you texted early. I happened to be at a meeting for 40 people, so I just got it. And when I can't hear, I didn't see you texted it to me. I missed the text. I'm looking at my email for like 2 minutes. Where's my email?
Yeah, me too.
I'm checking 3 different accounts, and it's a little bit different. Sudden so.
Chat live in the chat, Twixers. Howdy. Howdy in the Twix chat.
Everybody loved him, Steve Miller, by the way.
Mrs. Davis, Nancy Burns, Nancy Springer Smith, Racing Banshee, Pitchfork 22, Hammer, Jinx, Santa Fe Mockingjay, put on a suit. Howdy do, Charles Barkley Shorts.
Actually, I like it in the text, Big Dig. Actually,
I love the picture.
Send it in the text. I like it better than the email. It's good.
All right, we're live from Studio 6B. Having some issues with the clock, so that's fine.
Yeah, but we had just played that clip of...
We think we're in break. We're not in break. But,
wait a second.
Well, we don't say anything in break that we wouldn't say on the air, so it doesn't make any difference. So we're live on a Thursday night, 29 past the hour. So, we have a little extra. We have a little extra time here. So, Stephen Miller. We just played the clip of Stephen Miller out in Memphis, and I saw Brian Glenn on the tarmac with the Attorney General. Yeah. Asking about, can you take the success of what you did in D.C. to other places? And she said, we sure are going to do it. And we're going to do it in Memphis next, who has some of the worst crime numbers and some of the worst crime stats in a singular city of anywhere in the country. And welcome back if you're listening on 103.9 LI News Radio. We are back live from Studio 6B. We're going to take what we did in D.C. and go to Memphis. And, he was fired up there, Vin, like you said, maybe a couple Red Bulls deep.
Stephen Miller's always fired
great.
up. But the arsenal of support that they're bringing in there, this isn't just sort of like a typical politician who says, well, we'll throw the federal government into it. We'll bring a few people. What he laid out was like all of our resources in terms of the type of resources we can deploy. I don't know if you've been to Memphis recently. It's an amazing place, great town. I've been to BB King's over there and a few other places. I love it, but drugs are everywhere. And that crime is everywhere. It's a historic city in this country, too, that they have just let go because of it. So what do you do? How do you really solve a problem, I guess is my point. Well, you put everything you have into it to solve it. You don't put a Band-Aid on it, and that's what Stephen Miller's talking about. The cops there should be thrilled because now they don't have an excuse either with the local government, handcuffing them. This has to happen in most of our major cities, by the way. I think we just have to cleanse the whole place.
Yeah.
Yeah, and according to these numbers, this coming from CBS, when was this published? Oh, today. Look at that. 3,500 arrests have been made in D.C. since they started this. 40%. Nearly 40% have been strictly immigration related. So think about all the criminals that they've been able to pull off the streets. Nearly 1,400 of those arrests were counted as administrative arrests by U.S. Customs and Enforcement, or ICE as they're known. And again, it speaks to the work that they're doing and able to clean things up. And going back to Stephen Miller's speech, his hard-hitting speech, he was spitting mad.
He was spitting mad.
Wait, what did he do?
To the Memphis police, was met with shock and praise, because let's face it, I think most of these people, especially the cops, are probably shocked, like, oh my goodness, somebody's actually wants to take accountability.
Wow, we can actually do our job.
Yeah, we're going to be allowed to arrest people and do our job. Yeah. Holy moly, what a surprise.
They call it a sledgehammer, okay?
Yeah.
That was a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some more news. 32 past the hour, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice, 103.9 LI News Radio. Delgado's got it. Delgado, what's going on?
All right. Well, of course, the White House says sombreros will continue, Damon. Yes. Among the government shutdown. I don't know if you've been paying attention, my friend, but there's a little thing that they keep doing there. The White House announced.
Well, Delgado's
you sound Colombian.
Yeah.
Ay, caramba.
I'm Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah, you're sort of.
Say hello to my little friend.
The White House, House Blanco, said on Wednesday that the AI videos and memes depicting the Democratic leaders in sombreros will continue until the U.S. government has been reopened. Newsweek reached out to Shucky Schumer for a comment. He said, "No habla to the press." The escalating use of the AI-generated memes and
he didn't say that. He couldn't say that.
Said, no habla sombrero.
He said, "No quiero Taco Bell." Right. So he said he did not have a comment. And of course, what you should all know is that the shutdown continues, a deadlock resulting, of course, of the disputes over the health care provisions, particularly when it comes to extending the Affordable Care Act through the ACA and the subsidies in the budget bill. But of course, the Democrats, we all know what the Democrats want, and they say that we need those cuts undone. That was already signed into law. So they want to unwind a law that was just previously signed in. Here's cut number 5. Here is what the White House had to say. Cut 5, check it out.
Yeah.
Yes, there it is.
This is the screen in the White House as the press was coming in to get ready for the press briefing. This is before J.D. Vance walked in yesterday. They had this playing on the two screens.
You have to love the sense of humor that our administration has, man.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And what's amazing is how easily something as silly as this has triggered the left into hysterical responses claiming racism, this and that. It's like Hakeem Jeffries isn't even Hispanic. How is this racism? It's amazing, but this is the hill they want to die on.
I love the fact that they have to tell us that, like, they feel like the need to tell us that it's AI.
Right.
Like somebody watched it and said, why did Hakeem put on a sombrero?
Hey, honey, did you notice he had a sombrero on? What the heck is that all
They got to tell us it's AI. Oh, really?
Wait.
Holy cow.
Isn't he normally a clean-shaven fella?
Wow, he grows that mustache fast.
Holy shit. He's got a sombrero.
Holy shit. Maybe he needs one.
You know, you guys should know this is AI, don't you know? Oh, wow.
I didn't know that.
It's called artificial intelligence for you youngsters out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and of course, speaking of the shutdown, the Office of Management and Budget Director Russ Vought told House Republicans in a Wednesday call that layoffs of federal workers will be coming in a day or two, according to sources on the call. The call came one day after the government shutdown, as Democrats in Congress have rejected the short-term Republican funding plan and are making demands to extend enhanced Obamacare tax credits Democrats had forced Vaught's hand, one said, and Vaught has hinted at hinted at the layoffs in a memo last week as the government shutdown loomed that directed agencies to use this opportunity to consider reduction in force notices to all employees in programs, projects, or activities that met certain conditions in a shutdown. Now, from what I understand, they need the 60 days. We talked about that last night, correct? About the 60-day notice?
To get to the true reduction in force, RIFs, you need 60 days, because that's when you have to give, by law, I think they have to give 60 days notice to anyone who's going to be permanently terminated.
Right. So,
and his name is pronounced, I believe, Vote, like go vote.
Okay.
I think it's
Russ
Vote.
Okay.
Russ Vote.
All right.
Not Vaught.
He's my new hero,
I thought it was
that guy.
Vaught, too, because of the OUGH, but it's Vote.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as the press briefing room filled up and Caroline Leavitt came to the lectern, here she is and what she had to say. Cut number 8. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt on the shutdown layoffs that could be coming. Cut 8.
Well, sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do, and it's because the Democrats have put us into this position. If the Democrats did not vote to shut down the government, we would not be standing up here talking about layoffs today. We'd be talking about all the other news stories going on in the world in our country. We'd be talking about all of the great things that this administration is doing to uplift Americans across the country. But unfortunately, the Vice President of the United States and I have to come out here today to talk about a government shutdown that the Democrats put us in this position.
And a second question,
Thanks, Caroline. Just want to clarify the timing of these potential layoffs to federal workers. You said imminent. The Vice President seemed to say in a couple of days. It looks like Russ Vought maybe said in 2 days. When would these layoffs begin?
2 days, imminent, very soon. You will expect more announcements right now.
Is it just unclear, or are you waiting?
No, it's not unclear. All of those things are very synonymous with one another. These rifts are unfortunately going to happen very soon.
There you go.
Yeah, so there it is. And again, these, I guess there are certain people they can lay off pretty quickly, but like you said, to make the wholesale changes and get rid of some of the real just swamp of DC, you have to wait that 60 days. So we'll see what happens. We'll see who are the first ones to bite the dust, so to speak. And it could come as early as tomorrow.
The thing I found all day long, I don't know if you guys noticed this, is you get these people who are not even in, like Al Franken, he's not even, I think, in Congress anymore. But all these people saying, oh, the Republicans are going to vote, or the Republicans should, the Republicans control all three. Last time I checked, all the Republicans voted with the votes that they have in the Senate, which I believe is 53. They all voted yes. We can't make more of us. We have 53.
Except
you need 60. So how are the Republicans, with 100% of the caucus voting yes, supposed to overcome the 60 votes?
Right.
How is it on them? I see this all day long.
It's not.
Yeah. And what's amazing is, did you catch Chuck Schumer try to flip it to the House? He's like, well, they closed the House, so we can't. It's talking about the House, and it's like, but the House did their job. They already voted and passed their part. It's kicked over to the Senate. The Senate
and everybody in the Senate voted yes.
Right.
So how are we supposed to, with 100% voting yes, supposed to overcome the Democrat filibuster?
Right.
Yeah, it's impossible. But hey, thank God for Russ Vought. Yeah. I love this guy. He's my new hero.
And again, it all comes down to the messaging. And you know what? A few years ago, the Democrats would have owned the messaging on this, as they always have. They always seem to, no matter who is at fault for the shutdown, they always made it seem like it's the Republicans. It doesn't seem to be that way this time.
Well, let me tell you something. Hakeem Jeffries, Aaron, let me go off the script for a second here. If we can play this, Hakeem Jeffries is pretty convinced that the Republicans are going to revert back to the Republicans of old.
Dynamic, and given the way that the president has been tweeting memes about you, has been, in your words and the words of Democrats, already dismantling healthcare, what makes you think that he will negotiate anything? What makes you think that he and Republicans will cave to you?
Public sentiment. At the end of the day, the public knows that Donald Trump and Republicans have shut the federal government down. And that they're continuing to engage in the chaos and the cruelty and the corruption that we've seen from this administration from day one of the presidency. Again, this is the first week of their shutdown, but we've had months of chaos and cruelty unleashed on the American people. And the American people are paying close attention. And they know that it was Donald Trump and Republicans who have shut the government down. They also know that House Democrats are fighting and Senate Democrats are fighting to protect the health care of the American people. Because the Republican health care crisis has been devastating to people all across the country, devastating to working class Americans, devastating to rural America, to urban America, to the heartland of America, to small town America, and to black and brown communities all across America. We've never seen anything like this in terms of the pain that has been inflicted on the American people by Republicans. House Democrats are simply making the case that we need to cancel the cuts, lower the costs, and save health care. Thank you all.
So he's convinced the Republicans are going to be the ones who cave in this. And, I would say in prior years, I'd give him a 50-50 shot of that happening.
Right. Not a
Given
chance.
the Republicans, maybe even better than 50-50. Not this time.
Nope. Hakeem is off. Donde está sombrero, Hakeem?
Right.
Huh?
That's right.
Where'd that go?
Not this time.
And El Mustachio.
Did you hear the talking points though? Like all these words that they sent the memo out this morning.
Yeah, the Republican health care crisis and the chaos. It's all the same gobbledygook. And you know what's amazing is that as he's talking and it's droning on, you can feel a collective shrug, like, yeah, whatever, dude. I mean, this guy just doesn't. I don't know. The Democrats have definitely lost. They've lost their edge, but I think it's because they've lost the media. The mainstream media does not have the power it used to have anymore.
Right.
And I think that I think is part of the Trump effect, the Elon effect, and frankly, the effect of the things that networks like us do and everybody on social media as well, of just saying, you know what, we can't trust you guys anymore. We saw what you did during COVID. We don't trust you anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big part of why the American people are just, we don't buy this Republican shutdown. We know it's you.
All right, live from Studio 6B. More news with Vinnie Mac and Rick Delgado when we get back right after this.
Yeah, okay.
And then Ben will come.
Chat live in the chat.
Right. Kathy and Ray, I want to say a special hello. I bumped into some folks that watch our show while I was in West Palm.
Huh.
And they're very fine people. I appreciate the time we spent together. And we're live again.
All right, we're live.
Very fun.
Wait a second.
No commercials for you tonight.
Wow.
Wait, you were spending time with people, Vin?
Yeah,
no commercial breaks for you.
Time, yeah. And they got a free sombrero, too, which was nice. Yes.
Hey.
Okay.
Great people, but they say hi to everybody. And Kathy made some homemade ravioli with meat sauce, which she brought, which we devoured in
I
the
could
studio.
use right now. I'm starving.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're walking along the beach in Florida, and somebody's walking along with a thing of meat sauce
and raviolis,
and they happen to know who you are.
Exactly what happened. Exactly what happened. Paparazzi was everywhere. They're like, "You're not Rick Delgado, are you?" I'm like, "No. I'm Vinnie Mac." Wait a second.
Hello, Vinnie Maco.
You sure you're not Rick Delgado?
All right, so let me set the stage here. If you're watching on Real America's Voice, we're supposed to be in commercial break, which we are on radio right now. So we have to wait to rejoin radio, but we're not. Obviously, commercials are not firing tonight. So we're live on Real America's Voice still, which is fine. This is what we do in the commercial breaks. We still talk, and we're live on socials. So now, tonight, we're not only live on socials, we're live on the network. And that's fine. So, want to say hello to everybody in the socials, by the way. Yeah. Chloe, is it Chloe, I guess, or Choli, says, Delgado, I love their shirt.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
So it matches us both nice.
It is Thursday night shirt night.
Thursday night shirt night.
He washes it once a week. Which
Glenn
is nice.
Gregory says, I'm sorry, actually it was Steve Peters says, all of you should wear sombreros and mustaches on your show.
We should do that tomorrow night.
Oh, my God.
We should definitely do that tomorrow night.
Lisa on Facebook says, Rush would be proud of you boys. Wow, that's a big compliment there.
I'm going to find a sombrero, man.
I'm going to get a nacho sombrero. You ever hear of the nacho midget? That was a guy in a restaurant. He made huge money.
Now, some people are saying they have commercials on Rev, so I'm not.
Do they?
Okay, in some places the commercials are working, and some others you're sticking with us. So It's a wild card night.
Wild
like
card
baseball,
night, no score. Yankees and Red Sox.
I do not get the
So
memo.
is this 15 seconds right, Aaron?
2 innings in the books.
Till we rejoin? Okay.
So Jeffrey Koenig in the YouTube chat said sombreros and mustaches will be the #1 Halloween costume this year.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Great prediction.
Let's... All right, live from Studio 6B on a Thursday night. We're back, 103.9 LI News Radio, and, of course, Real America's Voice all across the country. Slick's got some sports. We'll do that. Mike Lindell is your sponsor, of course. Promo code LFS6B at checkout will give you great savings if you want to shop at MyPillow, as more and more of you continue to ramp up there as we get into the, shopping season here, last quarter of the year. We appreciate when you use LFS6B is your promo code when you check out. They sponsor sports. Slick's got it. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, Big D. Well, it was a great clip last week of Clay Travis from Outkick, who sat down with Paul Feinbaum. If you don't know Paul Feinbaum, he's been on ESPN now for probably 30 years, 25 years. One of the best to do it in college football. And he's actually contemplating a run for Senate in Alabama now. He's been very inspired by that. And there was a story about him a couple of years ago on ESPN where they wouldn't allow Trump to come on the air. So I'm going to get into that. Paul Feinbaum told Clay Travis he was devastated when ESPN shot down his Trump interview. And I want to run that clip right now, Aaron, if we could.
I was doing a Get Up and First Take in New York 2 days a week. I said, I'm going to be in New York on Wednesday. I'd have to come through. He said, I think we could do it at the White House Thursday morning. Can you get there? I said, yeah, I can get there. I'm in New York.
Right.
He said, let me run it down the flagpole. And he texted me back saying, it's looking good. I called my boss, and they killed it.
What's the reaction when you think you're going to get to interview the president and they say, nope, not happening?
I was devastated.
ESPN killed it.
Killed it. Absolutely killed
President of the United States.
Yep.
Interview on a major network.
It's like you said they had kind of a long background together, right?
Yeah, actually, all the way back to 1984 when he first met President Trump, when President Trump owned the New Jersey Generals, if you remember that.
I remember that, man.
A 38-year-old Donald Trump he sat down with, and when he invited him to dinner, and when they sat down together, the first thing he said, you see all those people out there? They were at the stadium, and he goes, they're all here for me. And he said, I immediately loved him when he said that. He loved the bravado, and so they became very good friends, over the years, and it was just a great story. And so he was actually inspired, and he's given the contemplation, especially after the Charlie Kirk assassination.
Yeah.
He's really thinking about making a run for Senate in Alabama. You know what, Big D? I think he'd win. I really do.
Well, not according to Todd McShay, you wouldn't.
Oh, no?
I know you got that story coming up a little later, but I don't know. I don't know Feinbaum now. Well, I watch him a little bit here and there. It seems like seems like he's fine. I don't know. It seems like he, one of these know-it-all college football guys, but he seems fine. But could you imagine having the president of the United States?
That's not a dig.
And no. It seems
You
fine.
meant that in a very loving, caring way.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, I'm sure.
I mean, and then having the network say, no, we don't think so.
No.
Yep.
That's how crazy is these people.
ESPN, what do you expect? And actually, his boss was okay with it. But then I guess when they ran it up the poll to the higher-ups, they put the nix on it. So, and one more quick one, Big D. White House advisor says ICE agents will attend the Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show. We will deport you, he says. Paul Boyer, Breitbart. I got that clip, too. Corey Lewandowski, an advisor at the Department of Homeland Security, said that the Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE agents will be present at the Super Bowl, and they're going to be looking at the staunchly Puerto Rican singer Bad Bunny, an outspoken critic of ICE, to lead the halftime show. If we could run that clip as well.
Will ICE have enforcement at the Super Bowl for the Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show?
Benny, there is nowhere that you can provide safe haven to people who are in this country illegally, not the Super Bowl and nowhere else. We will find you. We will apprehend you. We will put you in a detention facility, and we will deport you. So know that that is a very real situation under this administration, which is completely contrary to how it used to be. That said, look, the NFL has been so woke for so many years. They finally decided to make a comeback. They finally had people stand up for our great national anthem. But remember, these guys, Colin Kaepernick used to say, well, I wasn't being chosen to play on the NFL team because I was kneeling. No, you sucked, and that's why you weren't being played. That's why no team wanted to pick you up, because they're a business is the bottom line. And so here's where we are, Benny. I used to love watching NFL games. I used to love watching baseball football games. And when sports got into wokeness, I stopped doing it. Now, I still participate in a fantasy football league with some of the guys that I've known for 25 years and, want my players to win. But it's so shameful that they've decided to pick somebody who just seems to hate America so much to represent them at the halftime game. I was at the Super Bowl last year with President Trump. I had the chance to be in Louisiana in his box and watch the game and got to enjoy that. But listen, we should be trying to be inclusive and not exclusive. There are plenty of great bands and entertainment people out there who could be playing at that show that would be bringing people together and not separating them.
Yep. Yeah. And I think that's what it is. And I also think, has to do somewhat with Charlie Kirk. Now they want to balance it out, the Super Bowl. They want to make this, put this type of guy in there who's the complete polar opposite and goes against, what we stand for. So it's an interesting situation, Big D. But, Corey Lewandowski, very good from home.
NFL's so disappointing, aren't they? I mean, it's been an all-American league, like a patriotic league, right? All my life.
Yeah.
And suddenly they're concerned about being politically correct with Super Bowl shows. I mean, really?
Yep.
I mean, it's an all-American league.
They made that deal with Jay-Z's company, and he's the one that's picking.
Oh, Rock Nation, yeah.
I know. I feel like we have moved sports back towards us since 2020, since George Floyd, since COVID. I feel like we've seen the players have been more outspoken. You've seen people leave ESPN, take other jobs to say, I just wasn't going to stand for it anymore, being silenced. Players thinking, Jesus. And we've seen a lot of that. So I feel like we have moved back somewhat. And then obviously you get a pick like this and it kind of reminds you that, we're not all the way there yet.
Right.
So
absolutely.
All right, Slick, very good. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. Vinnie Mac's got some news. Vinnie Mac, I know you got a lot of stuff that's on your mind. Tell us about it.
Always burning up. I might change the order a little bit. Is that okay?
That's fine.
That's okay. Because conversations I've had today with a few folks, some in and around the administration and some in and around just business interest, talk about silencing our voices. And that has been happening via social media, like YouTube. Trump just won a lawsuit regarding YouTube. We were silencing our voices. And all the other social media platforms, I got in trouble now for trying to silence our voices. Well, there's other ways they silence our voices. There's discrimination, number one, and Damon and I were talking about this earlier. We were just debating this issue a little bit. There's discrimination and there's silencing of our voices. And what businesses are doing now is they're blacklisting and not providing advertising dollars to conservative outlets. That goes with podcasters, networks, so on and so forth. And I've talked about this many, many times, but the bar is being raised now to such a high level. The Biden administration in particular is trying to silence our voices. Us here on Live from Studio 6B, others that you might watch on the conservative networks, because they're trying to stop any advertising revenue from coming in, and that's how we make money. That's how we get paid. So they're in one sense discriminating against us, and the other sense is they're our freedom of speech. They're not allowing us to say what we're saying. So the Trump administration is taking steps with things regarding social media and so on. And I want to put it out there to implore anyone from the administration watching this show, anyone in the administration who does not want our voices silenced, because this is how they do it. They cut off the spigots in the advertising so that we cannot exist. Fortunately, we have great Americans that run our network, by the way, the Zen Master, as Damon has said many times, that are basically saying, I'm not backing down. I'll just keep funding this thing till this all gets straightened out. And there are other networks that are trying to do the same and some that don't make it. That's how they shut us up. And that's really bad for the country. It's really bad for our party and sort of just the truth that we talk about all the time. So I want to implore everybody in the audience, write your senator. Communicate, because this is affecting you. It affects us as a business and us as hosts and so on, but it affects you. Because we can't, you'll see in the future, if we can't get this fixed, I don't know how many are going to survive. So it's a real serious issue. I can tell you one thing, Real America's Voice will survive, because we have the type of ownership that will not allow that to happen. But I wanted to talk about it. It's a huge issue, probably one of the more important issues we never really talk about.
All right, we'll take a break, we think. And then we'll come back. More news with Vin, more sports with Slick on a Thursday. Real America's Voice right after this.
rookies.
All right, live from Studio 6B. We're going to assume that we're just going to assume we're live the whole night. So Delgado promises he won't curse.
And I saw 101.
Rick Delgado, no cursing, please.
Leave it to the Yankees, right? They find them.
Rick, you hablo español?
El no.
Poquito.
El no?
El no.
No, poquito.
Oh, come on, man.
No, it's Puerto Rican, man.
All right, okay.
That's how I roll.
He's from Santa Rica.
That's how you roll. You don't speak
Let's
Spanish.
see what's going on in the chat.
He's from Santa Rica.
That's how I roll, man.
Oh man, everybody in the chat's talking about a lot of stuff, and I'm glad you're appreciating what I just said, because it's a huge issue that I didn't fully recognize, frankly. Teresa McClendon, good to see you out there. Ricky Cope, we want to see Newsom in an orange suit. Yes,
yeah,
that would be great. The worst, I mean, we have so many bad governors. He's right there.
Terrible. All right, we're live back again on Real America's Voice. We're in commercial break on the radio, but we're live on Real America's Voice. And, of course, we always like to get into the socials and talk to all the people watching. And make sure you follow us on all socials at LFS6B, wherever you're watching. And make sure you follow Real America's Voice at Real AM Voice on all the same platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Getter. Wherever you watch us, hit the thumbs up and make sure you engage. That's what the algorithm likes, for you to engage.
Thank you.
Slick's going to do some more sports. Vin's got some more news. Delgado's got news as well. And we'll continue on, even though the commercials are a little screwy tonight. So some places we're in break, some places we're not in break. So we want to try to get everybody back together.
If it's messing you up, ay Dios mío.
But you know what we could do here, Slick. I don't know if we have enough time, but let's just quickly. All right, we're gonna run Steve Bannon's promo again here in about 45 seconds, which looks like a great special.
Oh man,
this weekend.
Yeah,
and try to catch the picture of Steve, because it doesn't look like him at all.
Oh, I didn't see it. I got to check it out.
It's an amazing
piqued
picture.
My interest.
Yeah. And make sure you always are going, as Vin has been talking about, make sure you go to Angel Studio. Is it angelstudios.com/Rav? Angelstudios.com/Rav. And join the guild for Angel Studio. They're producing absolutely fantastic, beautiful to look at content, as Vin talks about. And it's very important that everybody supports what they're doing. There's your QR code. You can just scan right on your phone right now. You got 10 seconds to do it before we hit the break, and then we'll continue to talk about it throughout the show. Angelstudios.com/Rav. We're back right after this.
This Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern, history sets sail.
I'm going to have all folks from the Navy, national security experts. You do not want to miss this.
President Donald J. Trump arrives in Norfolk, Virginia, aboard a mighty U.S. aircraft carrier.
Fight, 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 win, win, win.
As America celebrates 250 years of Navy power, brace yourself for missile launches, roaring jets, thunderous firepower, and the full force of America's sea strength on display. Hosted by Steve Bannon, with live reporting from Jack Posobiec and Steve Gruber. Real America's Voice brings you this front row seat to freedom in motion. It's not just coverage, it's a celebration of America's might. RAV presents America 250, Sea Power and Freedom. Coverage begins this Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern. See you there.
Hour 2, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Thursday night. Glad you're in. Slick's going to do some more sports. Delgado's going to do some more news. Vinnie Mac's got some more news. We're going to go back to Vinnie Mac here in just a second. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always on a Thursday. Lots to do. Make sure you follow us on all the social media at LFS6B, at LFS6B pretty much everywhere. And, of course, at Real AM Voice. Follow Real America's Voice. Lots to get to. Of course, the shutdown is still the big news. And we played that clip of Hakeem Jeffries before saying, he's pretty sure the Republicans are going to cave. Yeah, I don't think so. And on the chance that somehow they do, it would be maybe one of the gravest, biggest mistakes I can ever remember this party making. They are in a position right now, as President Trump tweeted this morning, rightly so, an unprecedented gift served up by the Democrats, who knew better than this. As we played last night, Chuck Schumer in March of this year said to Chris Hayes on MSNBC, we could not risk giving them a shutdown because then that gives all the power to Russ Vought. We don't have a right to go to court. We lose all of that. So Chuck Schumer of March knew very well that Chuck Schumer of today was making a huge mistake. The problem is, when Chuck Schumer caved in March, all he's heard is an earful from AOC and the radicals of his party. And Chucky Boy's too old to be able to deal with that. He doesn't want to hear it anymore. So now he says, well, we're not going to cave this time. And now look, now they're tucked in a corner so hard, they're going to have to learn yoga to get out, like I said yesterday. So
I don't think Chuck's that flexible.
I don't think so either.
Hakeem can think that they're going to cave. I don't agree. Russ Vought was built for this moment.
Yeah, no, they're not going to cave. This is Trump's party. End of story. They are not caving. I think Trump would go into the chambers and beat the hell out of each of them if they even tried to attempt that.
Well, let's hope. Let's hope that's the case. So, all right, let's get back to some news. Vinnie Mac's got some other headlines. Vinnie Mac, what's going on?
Yeah, we've heard over the years, this war on drugs, and we saw what happened with our open borders the past 4 years. What those open borders did was they took a drug problem and they turned it into a crisis beyond any drug crisis we've seen ever in our country. They opened up the ability for the cartels to really move this stuff at a much higher pace and get drugs into our children and young people and just provide a devastating result on top of that. And I know I want to talk about some news that happened today regarding that, but I also want to make it really clear to everybody, Joe Biden and the left's policies to open up the floodgates and immigration on our southern border opened up the cartels for big business beyond anything they had ever realized, not just in human trafficking, but in drug trafficking. Trump closes that border down. We've seen that. Trump's blowing up boats in the Caribbean. We've seen that. Well, the cartels now are feeling the pain. There was an interview on CNN with one of the big cartel leaders just saying that, these moves by Trump, particularly on the border, are really impacting, what we do. And I heard today that the Trump administration is looking at going after these cartels where they are, not just in Venezuela. They're in Mexico, then they're in Venezuela, and they're in other places. But if you're gonna tell people, and this goes back even to the Reagan years, there's a war on drugs. Hey, you throw a few agents up and a couple of drug sniffing dogs, and you think they're going to pick off drugs? Okay, maybe they will. But if you want to have a war on drugs, if you want to stop this stuff, you do what we're doing in Memphis. You do what we did in D.C. You go in and you wreck them so they can never operate again. You go after their money. You go after their ability to get across borders, transport drugs. There's Trump jokes about this, but he's 100% right. There are no boats on the water. These drug boats are not bringing stuff in. They have to find other pathways. So they're getting very aggressive with it, and he's saving lives. And the fact that the cartels are talking about this now on CNN, by the way. This is not on, a conservative news outlet. The CNN had a cartel leader just saying, business is down, man. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. And he didn't have a sombrero on, Mr. Delgado.
Or a mustache?
Or a mustache.
Yeah. All right.
But this is how you do it. I guess my point is, if you want to do something like we've talked about many times in this show, this is how you do it. You have to go, and blowing up a few boats is one way to say we're not going to take it anymore, and maybe going after them and where they are. And also closing our border down to just allow people in who are supposed to come in, not drug dealers or not, what do they call them, mules, when they stuff drugs in them. So that has been on my mind big time, Dame.
All right, very good. Vinnie Mac, we'll do some more thoughts with him coming up. I know one of the other things you wanted to talk about, we kind of talked about it yesterday, was Maxine Waters getting caught on the steps of Congress there.
Yeah.
From Mike Lindell's very fine reporter who went up to him and asked very simple questions. I thought she was very, she didn't press her. She wasn't rude. She just said, you want to prioritize illegal aliens? And of course, Maxine, and because she's a moron, and she can't think quick on her feet at all. Yes. She pretty much gave up the, said the quiet part out loud in her only the way she can. Mad Max, the original Crazy Town, saying yes, we want to give health care to everybody, and then of course she frames it as everyone who's going to die without it.
That was very emphatic.
She gave up the real. Said the quiet part out loud. That's exactly what they want to do. Yep. It's the same thing, by the way, that Delgado, you pointed out to me too, that Ro Khanna.
Yeah. Said, it's not going to be that much. It's going to be a very small amount of money.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be money.
Right, but it's happening, and that's the point.
Exactly. And that's just the money we know about. It's all the other stuff we don't know about. And that's how they kind of worm their way in.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to some other news Delgado's got. J.D. Vance, of course, was in the press briefing yesterday.
Yes. I think he shocked people, Damon.
Yeah, and I just love the fact that he's out front. I mean, I just think it's a great move. Yeah, I said this yesterday. I'll say it again. To have him out front, to be the face of this, be in the press briefing room yesterday, to be out there in front of the cameras the other day, they just couldn't make a better move than having him be the face of all this.
Yeah, exactly. And J.D. Vance, again, he was in the press briefing room yesterday and made the claim that Obama and Bill Clinton would be MAGA right about now, which of course set the left on fire, as you can picture ex-presidents Barack Obama and Bill Clinton in red MAGA hats. Think again, says the left, but Vice President J.D. Vance says, he was telling reporters on Wednesday that the former presidents would be branded as Trump-loving right-wingers by their fellow Democrats in 2025, based on their previous comments on people who enter the country illegally. Here is J.D. Vance saying just that when asked. Cut number 9. Here it is. Check it out. J.D. Vance making his point. Cut number 9.
Right in the back, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. You responded to a post on X of Chuck Schumer on the House floor back in 1996, railing against illegal immigrants receiving taxpayer-funded benefits. You said Chuck Schumer once recognized that it was disastrous to give illegal aliens rewards for breaking the law. Now he wants to shut down the government unless we reward illegal aliens for breaking the law. Why has Chuck Schumer changed his stance?
That's a good question. Actually, it's a very tough question. Asking me to get in the head of Chuck Schumer is not a place I particularly want to be, but my basic read on it is that the entire Democratic Party, the political leadership, not every Democrat nationwide, but the political leadership of their party has got it into their heads that the only way to be compassionate is to be compassionate to illegal aliens rather than American citizens. If you go back to what Bill Clinton was saying, even Barack Obama in some cases, what he was saying about illegal immigration 10, 15, 20 years ago, you would put them on the MAGA right based purely on their rhetoric around illegal 100%. Immigration. So I don't know why they've gone so far to the left. I think it's bad for the country. I think it's bad for them politically. But our principle, all I can do is speak for the president that I serve and the country, the administration that I serve right now. We believe that the American people's government exists for the American people. That means the people who have the legal right to be here, and that's why we're fighting to reopen the government. And unfortunately, the Democrats are fighting to shut it down for the benefit of illegal aliens. And I'll take a couple more, and then I'll let Caroline. I'll go back to my day job so Caroline can go back to hers. All right.
And again, you know what?
He's great. He's so good.
I go back to the point I made earlier about how this messaging and the media, the way he's messaging this as, we're fighting to get this government open and the Democrats won't come to the table and do what they got to do, that seems to be carrying, and it's across. I've seen it on CNN. I believe it or not, I think I've seen one or two people mention it on MSNBC saying, this doesn't look good for you guys. In other words, people are recognizing that this is a Democrat shutdown of the government, and they can't seem to, it's like herding cats. They can't seem to pin it on the Republicans on this one.
Well, again, when the Republicans have voted 100% for the caucus and people say, the Republicans got to get this, got to break. Well, how are they supposed to break it?
Yeah.
They've got 53 members in the Senate. All 53 voted yes. What are they supposed to do? Make up new members? How do they overcome the Democrat, the 7 votes without? I mean, we can't do it ourselves.
Yeah. And another great point that the vice president makes by mentioning Barack Obama and Bill Clinton, because you can go back in time and you don't even have to go back that far. Let's go back to 2020, the Democratic debate, where every single candidate on the stage raised their hand because they were in favor of illegals getting free health care. Here it is, cut number 10. Check that out. Cut 10, the Democratic debate.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
Here we all are.
And they're cheering loudly. They're cheering as if they just said, we're cutting taxes by 20%. They're cheering for this.
Yeah.
This is one of those moments where I think they think we just got dropped on Earth today. Like, we all don't know that there's YouTube and there's you can go back and look at it. When these people running around to the cameras today and this week going, no, we don't support that.
No.
Really? Well, that's every member of your party, of the hierarchy that wanted to be president, right there raising their hand.
Yeah.
Everyone.
At least 10, if not 12, on that stage that one night. And you could see it was like the first one was like, okay, I'm up. And then the others are looking around like, oh, okay, I'm up too. And all of a sudden it was like dominoes fell. It's like, oh, that's right. You guys are bought and paid for. And the cheering, the clapping seals in the audience, all the donors, of course, because they've got something to gain from all this, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yep.
All right, 13 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We're going to try to take a break. See what happens.
Wait a second.
But we're going to do sports with Slick. More news with Vin.
Yeah.
All coming up on a Thursday. We're glad you're in right after this.
My father.
Chat live in the chat.
Vin, you weren't here yesterday. We actually called the White House yesterday. Did you know that?
You did? Wow. Did you get through?
Yeah, we did.
And who answered?
I'm sure Fran's busy right now working on stuff to do it again. But so the White House put up a message on the White House comment line.
Mm-hmm.
So when you called it, instead of getting the comment line to leave a message, you heard a pre-recorded message of.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. We can't hear it, though. It's not coming through to our ears. Okay. Let's call the White House here.
Okay. It's not a 900 number, is it?
Thank you for calling the White House comment line.
Hello, America. This is White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Democrats in Congress have shut down the federal government because they care more about funding health care for illegal immigrants than they care about serving you, the American people. Until Democrats vote for the clean, Republican-backed continuing resolution to reopen the government, the White House is unable to answer your call or respond to your questions.
Okay.
We look forward to hearing from you again
they did that yesterday.
Okay.
Here's CNN tonight. Aaron, put this up.
Of what this message says. In part, it is the very partisan message that calls out and blames Senate Democrats for the shutdown, saying the House of Representatives passed a clean continuing resolution. Unfortunately, Democrat senators are blocking passage of H.R. 5371 in the Senate, which has led to a lap in appropriations. Now, we've seen this language come from other agencies during this shutdown, suggesting to their workers to send similar out-of-office emails. But what's different here at the Department of Education, John, is that employees did not give their consent and that this was done without their knowledge. And I had one employee tell me today that they actually went back into their email, changed their out-of-office message twice, and it was reverted back and overridden by this actual partisan messages. So it's very concerning. The Department of Education also, and notably, not denying that this is happening. They tell me, quote, the email reminds those who reach out to the Department of Education employees that we cannot respond because Senate Democrats are refusing to vote for a clean CR and fund the government, adding, where's the line? Some federal workers are raising real concerns about potential violations here of the Hatch Act, which of course states that federal employees are required to perform their duties in a nonpartisan manner.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
I'm going to change my email away message.
Welcome back to another action-packed episode of Law and Border.
Would it be safe for us to go or no?
Right here, no. Ben links back up with good friend Oscar Blue Ramirez and heads into one of the most dangerous places in Mexico, known as Culiacan, Sinaloa.
Right here, you can see the bullet holes.
It's also the headquarters for the Sinaloa cartel, where the El Mayo and the Chapito factions of the Sinaloa cartel are currently locked in a vicious, deadly war for control.
It's a very big problem.
Sound like the Blues on a Thursday. Let me talk to you about our friends at Patriot Mobile. I realize that there are many choices when it comes to who you choose for your cell phone service. There are new ones popping up all the time, but here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for, and that, of course, is our friends at Patriot Mobile. For more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile has been on the front lines fighting for our God-given rights and freedoms, while also providing exceptional nationwide cell phone service with access to all three of the main networks. Don't just take my word for it. Ask the hundreds of thousands of Americans who've made the switch and are now supporting causes they believe in simply by joining Patriot Mobile. Switching is easier. Never activate in minutes from the comfort of your own home. You can keep your number, keep your phone, or you can upgrade. Patriot Mobile's all U.S.-based support team, I said all U.S.-based support team, is standing by to take care of you. Call 972-PATRIOT today, 972-PATRIOT today, or you can go to patriotmobile.com/RAV, patriotmobile.com/RAV. Use promo code RAV. You get a free month of service. What? I said use promo code RAV and get a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/RAV, or call 972-PATRIOT and make the switch today. All right, 19 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Thursday night. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use if you want to shop at MyPillow. Slick, what's going on?
Well, let's get an update on Thursday Night Football first. Well, what do you know? The Niners jumped out to a 14-0 lead. Mac Jones filling in for Brock Purdy, 12 of 16 and 2 touchdowns, 147 yards. 2 minutes to go in the half. Rams have answered with a score. It is now 14-7. Then we go to the Bronx. Yankees right now, the bottom of the fourth here, have just taken a 1-0 lead. They have bases loaded with 1 out. So Yankees looking to add to that, but good game there. Good pitchers duel up until this here bottom of the fourth. Yankees look like they got something going. So we will keep you updated on that. And that is game 3, do or die. Ryder Cup, Big D. TV ratings were embarrassingly low, which we know, but there are asterisks. American golf fans checked out on the Ryder Cup heading into the final day at Bethpage. I know I did, but I haven't had something to do there. This is from Outkick Sports. No one can blame American golf fans for checking out on the 2025 Ryder Cup heading into Sunday's singles matches, and as TV's ratings show, many did just that, not even bothering to watch the final day's action. Entering the final day, Europe held an overwhelming 11.5 to 4.5 lead over the U.S., and as first reported by Sports Business Journal, Sunday's broadcast averaged 3.22 million views on NBC and Peacock, as the U.S. managed to make things incredibly interesting during the singles matches, ultimately losing the event 15-13. The viewership numbers peaked at 5.3 million. Still not a big audience, really. One might look at the 3.2 million average and think that isn't a bad number, considering the lopsided score at the start of the day on the Sunday NFL slate kicking off right in the middle of the singles matches. According to the report, the 3.2 million average on Sunday included big data plus total audience. The previous low for a U.S.-based Ryder Cup over the last 20 years was in 2021 at Whistling Straits, which averaged 3.5 million. So big drop off there, Big D. So I know you watched the Ryder Cup. Did you tune out on Sunday, or did you actually suffer through the whole thing?
No, of course I suffered through the whole thing.
You sure did. I know. Yeah.
Well, if you watched, it started on Friday. If you watched Friday for 20 minutes, I would say that's why you have no ratings for Saturday, Sunday.
No, I know.
You knew in 20 minutes this was over.
Yeah, but didn't we win the first hole? And then it just kind of went down.
We won nothing. It was over in 20 minutes. I go back to my text on our thing. I think I said it
was over before your second cup of coffee.
I think at 12. What time was it? For 7 a.m. was the first pairing on Friday. At 7:20, I think I tweeted, "Well, see you in 2 years." Right?
You did. You tapped out.
Yes.
Why?
Because it was obvious.
Oh, that's that kind of loyalty and dedication you have for your team.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I know that all too well, unfortunately.
Right, yeah. I was going to say, it's a Slick Damon.
Come on.
All right, quick one out of Barstool Sports. Big D is kind of cute. The PA announcer who called West Alabama's plus-size dance team the new face of
Kind of cute.
has apologized, so everything should be fine now.
Oh, he did?
Jerry, yeah, we had Jerry.
Kind of
Thornton.
cute.
Barstool covering it. Yeah, well, if you're not familiar with these ladies, they are the honeybees of Alabama State University. They work alongside the school's mighty marching Hornets band and have been bringing pep and school spirit to Hornets games for 21 glorious seasons and have received unanimous support for the infectious energy they bring. Well, to be perfectly honest, almost unanimous. No one can please everybody, not even the young women who volunteer their time and effort and dedicate themselves to bringing joy to their fellow ASU students, which led to this moment after the Honeybees' performance against A&M, and we have an explanation and an apology here. What was said was the announcer, Joe Bullard, had come under withering fire from all actions, saying that these girls look like they were the poster child basically for Ozempic, Big D, which is like absolutely crazy. Because they are wearing purple uniforms, but
this dance team is I guess they're like a plus-size model dance team.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they go out and perform, and when they leave the field, the PA announcer says, "Well, thanks, girls. You're now all the poster childs for Ozempic." And I saw the clip of it.
Yeah, me too. Hilarious.
And the audience all gasped like they just saw their grandmother naked or something.
You sure that wasn't Kevin Downey Jr. taking the PA system?
Calling them the new face of Ozempic, yes. So unbelievable.
So wait, he's not fired?
Well, no, he made an apology, and they had a little bit. It was a long explanation, but
I guess
some people actually came to his defense. But
saying, they all look like they were. I mean, how do you come to the defense of that?
Well, he's a beloved guy. He's been there for I guess ever.
Yeah,
so I was like, come on. Maybe he's done stuff like this before. Maybe he's called them salad dodgers in the past. I don't know.
The story goes on to say he's not wrong to take that approach and admit that humor is often cruel. So he's known to be cruel with the humor. The world changed and Joe didn't. He grew up in a world where Eddie Murphy put on half a dozen fat suits and hilarity ensued. Anyway, so he's making an excuse probably because he's a baby boomer.
I did not know that.
Anyway, they were like the obligatory chubby kid is what they said. So, all right, Big D, that's a wrap in sports. Back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. Slick, you don't look like you should be on Ozempic, so that's good for you.
Yeah.
So
please.
And I would never say that to you if I thought you needed to, like this guy did. It's crazy. Congratulations, girls. You all look like you're the face of Ozempic. Really?
Come on.
Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Let's. We got time for a quick story, Delgado.
Yeah, I got something to fill in if you want. Here is something I wanted to mention last night. We kind of ran out of time, but Jane Goodall, the celebrated primatologist and conservationist, passed away at the age of 91.
Yeah.
The intellectual, soft-spoken conservationist renowned for her groundbreaking and immersive chimpanzee fieldwork in which she documented the primates' distinct personalities and use of tools, has passed away. The environmental advocate became beloved and a household name who transcended generations through her appearances in documentaries and on television, as well as her travels to address packed auditoriums around the world. The Jane Goodall Institute announced her passing Wednesday in an Instagram post, according to the D.C.-based institute. Goodall died of natural causes while in California on a speaking tour, and that her discoveries revolutionized science. She was a tireless advocate for the protection and restoration of our natural world. So there you have it.
Wow.
Somebody who was out there doing good for basically her entire life.
She had a great documentary, I think, Gorillas in the Mist or something.
No. That was the Sigourney Weaver movie.
Oh, that was Sigourney Weaver.
That was the
about her.
That was the other movie. That was the other woman.
Yeah. With the apes. This is the chimps.
Yeah, this is for the chimps. For the gorillas, it was
this moment right here with that chimp. I remember this. They opened the door and they had no idea what his reaction was going to be, and his reaction was that right there. What you see, pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Diane Fossey's who you're thinking of.
Diane Fossey.
Yeah, another great one.
Good one.
Another great one.
Passing of a wonderful woman.
Yeah.
Wow. 91.
All right, live from Studio 6B. We're back. More news right after this.
Chat live in the chat.
Oh, man. If I don't get a chance to mention this, I wanted to mention that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we have folks in our audience that have suffered through breast cancer.
No guest, by the way, Fran. He canceled, so.
Sherry Reed mentions it, and we support, everything you do in Sherry in your battle, and wishing you always great health. But to all the ladies out there who've ever suffered from breast cancer, I think everybody probably has someone in their family
My mother-in-law,
with breast cancer. So we just say, give it a shout out to all the ladies out there on Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And Delgado's going to wear these pink shoes, I think, tomorrow for that. Or maybe you will.
Well, I had pink on last night, Vinny, because it was the first. I was ready already.
You were ahead of all of it.
I was ready for. I had pink on the first. Yep. I did. That was in my head. I wore that, and I wore pink boots. I got a lot of pink in my repertoire.
Really, you?
But my my mother-in-law's doing great. We took her out to dinner, and she really went through it, boy. And they've made great strides, thank God.
The early detection stuff has made a big difference.
You got to get checked.
We men need that for prostate cancer because that's a late killer for most men.
Yep.
But it's our breast cancer too. So anyhow,
yes, very true, Vin. Good point.
Breast
Good
cancer is quite prevalent.
I think we should mention that throughout the month too.
Yeah.
Not forget this. I know the NFL does a lot too, right? They wear the pink wristbands.
They do a great job.
They do a whole thing.
Yeah, I know. Crucial catch. Yeah, exactly.
They do a great job. Yeah, so I mean, the NFL does good stuff on so many things. What the heck's wrong with them?
Yeah, somebody in the department.
How do you leave picking the Super Bowl halftime show up to Jay-Z? I mean, what kind of a deal is that? I don't understand that. It should be should be an NFL decision, not
Apple
a Jay-Z decision.
Yeah, Apple Music had something to say too, but I think Jay-Z's the one name that came out of it, and he was a big influence. And you know how he is. I mean, Bad Bunny apparently, like Damon said, he's the largest streaming artist in the world.
He's
right?
huge.
I mean, he's massive. So
he is huge.
I guess that's what they want to see. But
I saw him on Saturday Night Live. He's funny. He is funny. I'm not saying the guy's not talented.
Right. Just we don't need him. We got so many better artists that could be on them.
Yeah, Debbie Gibson.
Yeah. I was hoping to see Elton John.
Shake Your Love.
Elton John never did a Super Bowl. He'd be damn
good.
Oh,
man, Elton would be great.
La, 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 la.
Shake Your Love.
Did you hear Elton when he was asked about Trump? He was a pretty stand-up guy about it, too.
Yeah.
Obviously, they don't agree probably on anything, but he said, I've known Donald a long time. He loves my music, and it's good enough for me.
There you go.
I thought it was funny when he called what's the little fat guy from North Korea Rocket Man. He did.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah, we played that clip.
He said, Well, 30 minutes past the hour. Well, the White House wasn't kidding. What are you talking about, Damon? Well, the White House said, if you put this up, Aaron, every day that the Democrats keep the government shut down, the sombrero is going to get bigger.
This thing's good.
So this was yesterday.
Talk about putting a lid on it.
This was yesterday. And now here we are today. We weren't kidding.
Wow, that's
they got the head moving now.
And
That's
so
good
now
stuff.
it's gotten a little bigger.
If they could put some nachos on the top.
I think he needs a cigar.
with push the top down a little bit, put a little guacamole in there.
It's going to be a life-size sombrero pretty soon.
More chips, please.
We weren't kidding.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. I'll tell you, like Vince said, you have to just appreciate the humor, and they're not going to be off-putting. They're not going to be put off on it just because they think it's politically not correct. I think it's great. Find a sense of humor, you schmuck.
This is the funniest administration we've ever seen. Yes. So it's just funny.
Funny on purpose.
Funny on purpose. Yeah.
We got a lot of laughs out of the last administration, but it wasn't. They weren't trying to be funny.
Accidental funny.
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, I almost did a crazy town today, and I almost went back to Biden because I saw a tweet today, and it was entitled "What did the guy write?" And I thought, boy, that would be a great way to start bringing back some of those moments. He said, one of the more underrated moments of 2020. I was thinking we could go back and do a segment called Underrated TV Moments and just make it all Biden gaffes again and bring the magic back.
Or Kamala.
And I got to see if I can find this one because I didn't remember this moment. And he was right spot on. Talk about an underrated moment of Biden talking to Anderson Cooper.
Oh, I saw that. I know which one you're talking about.
Just what?
Come on, man.
I never remember seeing that. So isn't that a good idea, Doug? Underrated moments.
Tomorrow night, I want to see that.
Of 2020, of the 2000, I don't know what we'll call it. Underrated TV moments, I guess.
Oh, my goodness.
Of the political TV, I don't know. We'll come up with some whatever.
I think we got 30 minutes of just Biden on our YouTube. Then that was just from his first year. Yeah. I mean, it was just. I wish I could remember who posted it. I pull it up now. But anyway, so I'll look for it. 32 past the hour. Let's do some.
I retweeted it.
I got to remember who tweeted it. 32 past the hour. Let's do some more news with Vinnie Mac. Vinnie Mac, what's on your mind?
I just changed my away message on my email because of the Democratic shutdown. I won't be able to answer any emails for the next couple of days until this thing's resolved.
I mean, could you imagine getting in someone's head that easy? That they dedicate a whole segment on CNN to it. This girl looks like she's about to start weeping, talking about out of office messages that have been changed. Like,
it's priceless.
Lighten up, would you please?
But here's why none of this bothers me. We hear stuff that the left says. We watch CNN and hear them make comments, or MSLSD, or even the major networks, and we're like, oh man, how can they say this? And why do they say that? And you see people on social media. Here's why it doesn't bother me. The Dems, I think it was today.
Found it.
You found Biden? Should I stop?
No, go ahead.
Okay, the Dems decided to stream a bunch of them talking about the shutdown, and they thought they were going to draw, a pretty sizable audience. At one point, there were 6 people, I think, that tuned into the Zoom. I believe, what was the total we had there, Damon? I think the total was very small, like a couple of hundred people tuned in to the leaders of the Democratic Party doing a live stream talking about the issue of the government closing down.
You think was it that many? A couple hundred?
I think it was a couple of hundred, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, as I said, there were 6. Then it got to a couple hundred and down. Now, here's a stream that, frankly, should have had, 25, 30,000 to a couple of million. Yeah, it should have had a huge audience. So when we get, upset about the talking points that the commentators on CNN and MSNBC and all of them start talking about, and all the news that they put out that's fake and their lies and everything, I think Delgado said this earlier, and also we said it right after the election. We were sitting on the chairs in the other set, talking about the effect of the election. And what we talked about was, man, it feels different. Do you feel change? Mm-hmm. Something changed. Yeah. See, even the media, I feel a change. And the American people have changed in many ways. Look at this shutdown and how, the Democrats are wrong here, and we recognize that. It's not like it was in the old days. They can say all they want. We could put 100 sombreros on them. Doesn't matter. They're wrong. And the American people know that. And the left media, George Stephanopoulos, that midget's trying to kind of corner people on that and harass folks. That's what's changed. Yeah. Nobody's listening. They're not paying attention anymore. So as much as we might get upset. Yep. Nobody's watching. This is an underrated show.
We're used to that.
Yeah.
What are you kidding?
Well, speaking of underrated, let's do a new segment here on the show. Underrated.
Oh, boy. We'll call it sponsored by Depends. Yeah.
Underrated TV moments of 2020. Here's the first episode.
Remember, Anderson, back 15, 20 years ago, we talked about this in San Francisco. It was all about, gay bathhouses. And it's all about round-the-clock sex. It's all, come on, man.
There you go. Here's your first episode of Underrated TV Moments of 2020.
Anderson's like, I was in those bathhouses. What are you talking about?
Saying that to Andy Vandy.
If we could have had the reverse side camera shot of his face.
Oh, my goodness.
Come on, man.
I can't imagine what that was. I don't even remember that.
That is hilarious.
All you needed was SpongeBob to walk out.
It was great.
That was great.
That really is stupid.
Because there he is trying to, hey, I'm cool. Remember that? Like we can connect. Here, me and you, Andy, we're connecting on this topic. You know about this topic. Matter of fact, right?
Oh, God.
Those
Too
gay
much.
bathhouses. Remember those?
Yeah, come on.
All right, Ben, what else you got?
I got one more thing, and it's this is a tough one to top. I have to tell you, man. You know, Biden talking about gay bathhouses in San Francisco.
That's a hard act
It's
to follow.
really hard to overcome there. But we have heard ad nauseum going back a couple of months when Trump first started this whole tariff thing. We have heard how there's going to be all these, prices are going up, inflation's going up, all these things are going up. The reality is nothing's happened. They lied. They all lied about what the effect tariffs were going to have on our country. And I've seen over the last couple of days economists coming on and saying, that's had no effect on prices. It didn't affect inflation. The economy wouldn't grow, and it did. Gas prices would be up. And by the way, the stock market, for all you 401kers out there, is going to crash. And I think, Damon, they threw in the old, people are going to die.
Yeah.
Nobody died. The stock market's up 15%. Inflation's down. The economy's doing fine. And our consumer prices have not gone up. Yet all these tariffs are in place. Think about that. How the heck is that happening? Isn't that what Trump said was going to happen? Don't worry about that stuff. It's not going to happen. Every economist on the left, everyone on the left screamed bloody murder. Yeah. And this is just another thing. This isn't like them being wrong. It's not like they were talking about something and said, oh, whoops, I missed that. I really thought this was going to happen. They just lied, like they're lying now, and like they continue to lie about stuff. So that's one thing I wanted to get in, because we haven't really covered the fact that after all these months, the results of the tariffs are nothing except for money coming into our country and maybe opening up commerce and business for some of our folks. And the last thing I'll point out on this whole thing is the farmers. The farmers, we have to support our farmers, but they're going to start turning the corner. These tariffs are evening the playing field, and all those low-cost products we import, where now our farmers are going to start farming. And it's going to take a little while, but the last few months, it's building up. More of our goods are being sold in grocery stores at fair prices, not high prices. We can make the goods.
I love USA.
So that's going to help our farmers. And I say, if you're a farmer out there, I know we got Greta Garbo's out there. She's a farmer. We have a lot of folks in our audience that are farmers. Yeah. There's help, and it's coming. It's taking a little more time, but it's coming.
Yeah. All right, very good. 39 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We'll get to Delgado here in just 1 second. One clip I wanted to play, not to change the subject totally, but I just think it goes to the Democrat positioning on pretty much everything. Cut 6, Aaron. Alan Dershowitz was on a podcast. I believe this was yesterday, and they asked him about the midterms and who he's going to support. Here's what he said. Roll it.
I'm going to be supporting the Republicans in the midterm election. I'm hoping that the Republicans maintain control both of the House and the Senate. The last thing I want is Chuck Schumer to be head of the Senate, or Liz Warren to be chairperson of a committee, or AOC to be chairperson of a committee. The Democrats have not only lost my votes, but they have made me an enemy, essentially, by how they've moved away from American values, Israeli values, and values and decency. So I'm not only no longer a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, but I am a very anti-Democrat. I'm against the Democratic Party. I will do anything to see Mamdani defeated.
Yeah.
We all would.
Good to know.
Good to know.
Pretty strong feelings. And I'm sure he's not the only one.
Yeah, well, none of his friends in Martha's Vineyard are backing him up on that one, but it's good to hear him saying it.
Yeah. All right, let's do some more news with Delgado. What's going on?
All right. Well, Damon, the greatest headlines in the world continue now. You had Alan Dershowitz mention mayoral candidate for New York City, Mamdani. Well, CNN analyst Harry Enton says Mamdani remains the massive frontrunner despite current mayor Eric Adams dropping out in his re-election bid on Sunday, as predicted. Said it's going to have little impact. I know we talked a little bit about this.
Yeah, I saw this.
Yeah, appearing on the CNN newsroom on Sunday, Enton characterized Adams' departure as a giant thud, explaining that the Democrats and the Democratic Socialist candidate, Zoran Mamdani, remains a substantial frontrunner due to the opposition vote being split between former Democratic New York Governor Andrew Cuomo and Republican nominee Curtis Sliwa. Let's see how Harry actually said it on CNN, because only Harry can do what he can do, and he loves the polls, Damon. Here he is, Harry Enton, cut number 12. Check this out.
With Adams out, that has the effect of being a giant dud. I don't think it makes much of a difference at all. Why is that? Well, let's take a look, Jessica.
I don't know why.
Let's take a look at Mamdani leads the New York City mayoral race. With Adams in the race, he was ahead by 19 points. Now, with no Adams in the race, guess what? Mamdani still leads the race. He leads it by double digits by 15 points. So, yes, maybe the margin has shrunk a little bit with Adams dropping out of the race. But when you're going from a 19-point lead to a 15-point lead, and we have only a little bit more than a month to go, the Adams dropping out of the race, at least according to the polling data that we have at our fingertips currently, will not make much of a difference. That's why I say it will be more like a dud than a giant thud.
Yes. So there you have it from CNN's Harry Enton. It's a giant thud. With Adams out of the race, like you said, Mamdani currently holds a 45% of the vote. Cuomo's trailing with 30%. Sliwa commanding only about a sixth of the vote. The split, Enton says, makes Mamdani's victory pretty much impossible to stop. He further explained that even if Sliwa were to exit, Cuomo would still end up trailing Mamdani by 7%. So things don't look good.
I told you this months ago.
And I don't know why people think Cuomo could win anyway.
You called it.
Not with the baggage that he carried as governor and the everybody knows what he was doing.
I don't know if I believe the polling, though, on this one.
True.
I don't know if I believe it.
Well, the social media manager at the White House, we found out, got furloughed in the government shutdown as well. So it looks like they had one of maybe President Trump's grandkids had to do the new posting. So we'll show you that on our way out here.
Good.
Cheap sombreros. I don't know. We got like party stores, right? It doesn't like
we got to find
party,
them.
whatever they are.
I'm going to look.
Hell is she? Is there a football score she's laughing at?
Might be.
John Phillips says folks better vote Republican.
Why? What did I do? Oh.
I don't believe this polling because I think they're just polling Democrats and they're polling young people, or there's something wrong with the polling. I just don't think this guy is going to get the votes that they're saying he's going to get.
I just missed one.
It's
4-0.
Yeah, they got out, and they got out of a jam there too. They had a little rally going on. They pulled that one out.
118-7.
Oh God, I hate when they show that stuff. When they show that stuff,
that's like the
kick. The announcer, he hasn't missed in 23 straight games.
Kiss of death.
Guy comes up, boom, right.
A couple weeks ago. I think it was a couple weeks ago in a football game.
They are notorious, these guys. For You're right.
The Amorati kiss of death. The game's over.
Oh, I've done that.
Hold on a
I've
second.
done that many times.
Aaron, can I hear this?
Don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th.
Yeah.
And you have the same purpose that you did.
Okay, good.
Don't you ever let anybody take your power.
Yeah, you do.
This is getting out of hand.
Did you see the Trump one?
She's so inspiring.
Come on. Yeah. Mexican word of the day, beechwood. I know this beechwood pull the race card.
I tell you, it's just so good. It's just so good.
Oh.
I mean, it's right up there with putting the.
Quiero respirar comiendo este burrito. Deja que te ponga salsa tomatillo. Para cuando muerda ya me siento vivo.
Oh, where's Joe?
This burrito. Quiero escucharte bien despacito. Comiendo como
Wasn't that Joe's favorite song when he came out? Remember?
Yes, that was the song. Remember?
Yeah,
Joe, yeah, oh yeah.
That was
like
Joe's.
that. Come on, man.
That was
That was
That's
the
right.
song, right? Yes, that was it. Despacito.
So
All right, live from Studio 6B, 13 to the hour. We'll try to get to everybody here as we wrap it up for a Thursday night. We'll start with sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Slick's got it. Slickster, what's going on?
Well, let's get updated on it. Baseball, Big D. The Bronx, the Yankees with a big fourth inning are up now 4-0 over the Red Sox. Here we are in the bottom of the fifth inning. Yankees looking to close it out and head up to Toronto and take on the Blue Jays. I guess that'll be a first pitch, I believe, on Sunday. So good stuff there. And Thursday Night Football, SoFi Stadium. Right now, well, what do you know? The Niners are up 17-7 over the Rams. They added a field goal just before the half. So Erin's celebrating in there. She's got 10 points plus her. What did she get? 8 points. So she got 18. 8.5. Hey, forget it. Looking good. Unless we'll see what happens though. We got another full half there, but it's 17-7 at the half in SoFi Stadium right now. Here's a sad story. Varsity football star shot dead after friends mistake him for a squirrel on a hunting trip. This is Paul Boyer.
Oh my goodness!
It's a crazy story. A varsity football star in Iowa was tragically shot and killed during a recent hunting trip when his friends mistook him for a squirrel. The tragedy occurred this past Saturday in rural Brighton, roughly 12 miles from Des Moines, according to the Iowa Department of Natural Resources. Then, when 17-year-old Carson Ryan of Washington was mistaken for a squirrel by a member of his hunting party, he was struck in the back of the head and later died of his injuries after being transported to UI Healthcare Medical Center. The Iowa Department of Natural Resources, in collaboration with the Washington County Sheriff's Office, responded to the hunting incident in Washington County. The incident is currently under investigation. Washington assistant football coach Nick Williams hailed the young and promising athlete as a fierce competitor in everything he did during a vigil held for him this past Sunday night, according to the Southeast Iowa Union. He loved fishing, he loved being with his friends, but more importantly, Carson was a person of incredible faith and loved by so many. According to the New York Post, roughly a dozen nearby school districts also mourned the teen's sudden death on social media and urged students and staff to wear Washington High's black and orange team colors to honor Ryan, who competed on the district's boys football, basketball, and track and field squads. So he's got a current GoFundMe as well, launched in Carson's honor, which raised over $50,000. So just what a devastating story. I guess they were just out hunting, and I mean, just I can't believe. I mean,
I really don't.
Yeah,
Given the size of, I don't understand that story at all.
Well, they say it's still under investigation, so we'll have to obviously keep track on that and see what happens. We got our friend Frank the Tank, Big D. We know about him. Well, obviously his Mets are out, and he just said he kind of took it pretty good at the end. He wasn't too upset. But Frank the Tank has now shed 235 pounds over the past 2 years of his walking weight loss journey, down from 530 pounds to start. Go Tank, go! I had to give us a good story here. I'd say losing another 10 pounds since that blog about it is just another W for Frank the Tank. But these past few months of progress really feel like something to celebrate. The internet can be a pretty jaded place sometimes, but his walks have been a true exception. Every step he's taken has literally brought him toward a more positive life, along with plenty of viewers too. But make no mistake about it, what he's been doing with Frank Walks has become a legitimate source. So he has these Frank Walks, Big D, and he's lost a lot of weight. So
he's walked with all kinds of sports celebrities. Celebrities have joined him. This is the one with Portnoy. I think this was one of the first ones.
Yeah, this is just
Frank's lost a lot of weight even since this video.
Yeah,
he's walked with Saquon Barkley, and he's walked with all kinds of. I've seen a lot of them. And for as crazy as Frank is, he's a real model of, you don't need to go, you don't need to be running and lifting, and I mean you can do all that stuff, but if just getting out and walking is enough, because that's all Frank can do is walk. And he's lost 200 and something pounds, and he's really turned his life around, turned his health around. He's still got a ways to go because he was, I think, at one point close to 600.
Oh my God!
And I think he's just under 300 now. He's like 295, 296, and he's not that tall. But he's done it. It's been an amazing journey, and I know Matthew Piper Jenks has been helping him as like his personal helper at Barstool. It's just quite a story.
291 pounds he's down to right now, which is exceptional. So I wanted to get that story in for you. A little good news to wrap it up for sports, Big D.
All right, very good. Vinnie Mac, anything else on your plate?
Well, in New York, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are closing their offices because of Attorney General Letitia James. They're saying she's corrupt and dangerous. She's corrupt and dangerous and has bad business practices. They're closing their offices because of it. Can you imagine that? That they're closing?
Crazy. I can.
Those things. Well,
I can imagine a lot of that happening in New York. You think it's bad with Letitia James and then the governor. Wait till you get a new mayor in New York City.
That's going to probably be a regular occurrence. And one thing I've had my eye on, it's not it's a story, but it's emerging, I guess, is what's happening there is Antifa in Portland. And where they're been harassing and surrounding that ICE detention center. They're in big numbers. They are getting arrested. The National Guard is there. But I'm looking for that issue to bubble up with some of the things that Trump has been doing in Memphis and others. We need to send in as much as possible and just arrest all of them. These are not peaceful protesters. They're violent. They're confrontational. Oh, by the way, Governor Newsom, they wear masks. Why are they wearing masks? I thought you didn't like masks. I know this is Oregon, it's not California, but all of the left, they're up in arms because ICE agents were wearing masks because people were showing up at their houses and they were putting their names and addresses on social media. But Antifa, no problem. They're all wearing masks. That's not the issue here, folks. Let's look the other way. So I'm hoping the Trump administration steps up and just shuts them down. Now, Portland was a really nice city at one point. I know it's still a beautiful part of the country, but man, it's brutal when you have Antifa in your city and doing what they're doing. I mean, look at some of this video footage. I mean, they're just mayhem, absolutely violent. They need to be taken care of. And you know what? If they put January 6ers in jail for doing what they did, these folks should be in jail serving hard time. And if they're breaking federal laws, well, maybe they just will.
I mean, I thought the designation from the president was that they were a domestic terrorist organization.
That's right. They're kind of getting away. He's going soft right now.
Isn't that like an instantaneous designation when the president does it?
Yes and no. I know that
Yes and no?
there has to be a certain law, like things within a law that they can do. They're not able to do that yet in terms of, like, if they were to be labeled a international terrorist organization, that changes the game.
Well, that's what the cartels are right now. Yeah.
Well, my point being, the first time you take one of these little punks down, get rid of their mask and charge them with domestic terrorism and put them in jail for 25 years, I suspect all of his little
it'll set a trend.
Atari playing buddies at night are not going to show up for the next rally, would be my wild guess.
Yeah, hopefully they won't.
That's where I'm going with this. They need to now
stay home and play Roblox.
Right. They could do that too.
It'll be safer.
Right.
But I don't know. So, I mean, as long as no one gets, they don't get the hammer, you'll still see them surrounding government buildings in all of these hellhole cities.
I think it's going to happen, and I do believe the Trump administration is going to do some of that stuff. So I'm just waiting for it to happen, though. They haven't fully. The National Guard's there.
All right, Delgado, what's left on your news?
Real quick, just to jump off of what's going on with ICE, check this out. This is cut number 13. This is, if Portland is thinking of something that might happen in the future, look at what happened in Chicago the other night as the feds came down out of Black Hawk helicopters. Cut 13, check this out.
Led 300 federal officials to that apartment complex. Some even rappelled down from Blackhawks onto the rooftop in order to help secure that perimeter. Now, they were searching for suspected members of the violent Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. Of course, TDA has been designated as a terrorist organization under the Trump administration. Now, it was the biggest show of force that we've ever seen on the ground here. We had agencies, FBI, Border Patrol, ICE, and ATF all involved here, and they were all looking for targets in that same exact building. It was a 5-story building. It was a tall task for them, and anything could have gone wrong. But luckily, the operations went pretty smoothly. Preliminary reports show that about 30 illegal immigrants were arrested in this operation, some of them suspected Tren de Aragua.
Yeah. I'm sure they can get more than 30 Antifa in Portland.
As always, we salute our military, active and active police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, everybody on the front lines protecting us. Thanks, everybody on the show. Aaron Fran, great job as always. We'll see you tomorrow night live at the America First Warehouse, 8 p.m. live from Studio 6B. We'll see you then.
Click the link below to get your free info kit from the Birch Gold Group.
What do you do when your tire goes flat and there's no air anywhere to fix that? You reach for Bullseye Pro, the smarter, faster, hands-free way to fill it up with air. Bullseye Pro is equipped with a rechargeable lithium-ion power plant. So fast, so strong, and so convenient. It's like putting the power of an air compressor in the palm of your hand. Look, you can inflate all 4 tires of your car on a single charge, or inflate a bag full of soccer balls at practice. Bullseye Pro is so advanced, it has a built-in smart pressure digital sensor that gauges and automatically stops when the set tire pressure is reached. Plus, it can be 100% hands-free. You simply set the target pressure and walk away, keeping you out of harm's way. Bullseye Pro is lightweight, durable, and powerful enough to inflate this massive monster truck tire. Plus, it has 4 ultra-bright LED lights to safely inflate at night. Bullseye Pro comes with 3 custom air nozzles on board, so you can easily inflate pool toys, exercise balls, and more. Forget driving to the gas station. Bullseye Pro is your anywhere, anytime inflation station. Call or go online now and get the complete Bullseye Pro inflation system, all for the factory direct price of just $79.99.